Hey you guys, it's Melissa Westlake and welcome back to Wine with Mel. Today's guest is very near and dear to my heart, but before we get to her, let's get to the wine. Today's wine is a Pinot Grigio Sun Goddess. Similar to a rosé, Sun Goddess features notes of peach, melon, and berries with soft tannins. This wine by Mary J. Blidge can be enjoyed with a nice ceviche. I am so beyond excited to introduce you all to not only a good friend of mine, but wine enthusiast and educator and sommelier, Cristie Norman.
Hi.
Hey!
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about who you are, where do you hail from, how'd you get into all this?
Where do I hail from?
Yeah.
Okay, I hail from Japan originally, but I'm from Los Angeles. I've been here, since I was 8 years old. I worked at Spago Beverly Hills for the last 5 years. I was a sommelier there. I became a somm at 21 years old. COVID happened, big topic.
Very big topic, we'll get into that.
Yeah. I started a charity. I'm the president of the United Sommeliers Foundation. We raised almost $1 million in about 9 months and distributed it to people in need. And she's one of my best friends, and she's never asked me to be on this show.
You know what it is when you have a show that's like, this is their niche, right? And you're like, yeah, okay, I'll ask you on the show, and then it's just like, what are you talking about,
She cried.
I'm really
just
crying.
saying. We're like good friends. Like, when are you gonna bring me on, girl?
She's like, this is what I do it for a living, right? The last time we were together, I was like, oh yeah! I remember that.
And then what else? I created an online wine course for beginners. It's like a driver's ed course for wine that takes the average consumer through everything that I think a person should know about wine in like 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah. So actually, I'm in the process of finishing that course because it is quick, yes. It's a lot of information if you I love it. It is definitely a crash course for sure. But I'm one of those people, I gotta take it in section by section by section. So,
it's like worksheets, you gotta fill them out.
Yeah, I like printed them out and I'm like taking extra notes. I literally just write everything from the slide in it, so. But you did mention that you were the president of the United Sommeliers Foundation, which, as she mentioned, it was created during COVID-19 in order to provide financial assistance, especially to professional sommeliers. It's very, very difficult for them right now. She also mentioned she is the CEO of this online wine course. But what she did not mention, which I love to hype her up about, is that she is Wine Educator of the Year and 40 Under 40 by Wine Enthusiasts. She's like, yeah. I like to hype my friends up, y'all, if you don't know. It's just, that's such an amazing accomplishment. I mean, how did you feel when you just got the nomination, honestly?
Honestly, I was really honored and grateful. I mean, I've worked really hard to create this, and I want more people to drink wine. And I thought that Wine Enthusiasts could have chosen a lot of people, but I really gave them props because they chose a young woman of color. That was big. I think for our industry to show someone like me, in front of all of these people and saying out of all of these nominees, you won, was a really big statement. So I'm really honored and grateful. And also just inspired by Wine Enthusiasts because they really paved the way.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You mentioned that you became a somm at 21. What kind of just led you to that journey and that path?
Oh, I wanted to make money, girl. I wanted to make money, girl. And no, it wasn't to become a somm. Somms don't make as much money sometimes, okay?
Yeah. Let them know, Cristie.
I was a server at a barbecue restaurant. And I wanted to work at the fancy steakhouse. And I heard that the GM likes wine. And so I learned everything at 19 years old. And I went into that restaurant and I was like, no fine dining experience. And I was like, I want to be the best server you ever had.
Yeah.
And then they were like, you're 19. And I was like, I know. But I'm learning about wine. And they were intrigued. So they hired me as a bar back. And then so for a year, I was a bar back, mopping the floors, and then I was a food runner as well, and they promoted me to be a server, and I was like, okay, because they still had me working food runner and then also serving, because servers at steakhouses make bank, let's be real, you know what I mean, at the height, okay? And I said, as leverage, hey, if I take my first level sommelier exam, will you make me a server full time? And then,
whoa.
And then, so I scheduled my exam. I was 20 years old. I had to email like the certifying body.
Yeah.
And they had to like change my like birthday and stuff so in order for you to
actually do it.
Yeah. But then I passed then, and then I took the next level 6 months later.
Wow. Yeah. You're incredible. I mean, she tells me this story. I mean, when I first met her, I should say, she told me this story, and I'm like, oh my god, she's so incredible. But like, the more I hear it, and like, the more like, you introduce me to all these people, I'm like, she's looking at me like I'm crazy. But like,
okay, ballet dancer at Joffrey's. Okay.
No.
I'm the cool one sitting here. Are you serious? Stop. Cristie.
I feel like she's interviewing me right now. So, I would love to know though, because you were very young, yes, and so have you ever felt looked down upon because of your age in the industry?
Well, looked down upon? I don't know, but having my Instagram stories screenshotted and put in private Facebook groups to trash me.
No way.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was a young woman doing anything that wasn't normal, and there's always been this thing where you were either a professional or you were an influencer. You couldn't do both, but I was working at one of the most legit places in the country. I knew my shit. I passed my certifications. I did all this stuff, and I was successful on social media. People did not like that at all. 3 years ago, I did like a donation collection for some people who had been like wronged in our industry. It was like a really big deal, and people really wanted to help, and I started like rallying that, and people even came after me for that. And I was just trying to help people, and I didn't understand. Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, she's an attention whore. She's just trying to get attention. She's just trying to get this." And then like fast forward, I think people are seeing now because it's like I started this charity, and it wasn't even to start a charity. It was just we were trying to raise money, and then my board members, but like my team was like, "Oh, we should file as a charity so that people can get tax deductions."
Yeah.
And so I think people are starting to see now that I've been consistent this whole time. Like I've just been trying to support people in the industry. But yeah, of course, I had tons of haters.
Yeah.
Because I was young and because I was a female, period.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I've done more in the last 5 years than a lot of people have done in their entire career.
Yeah.
And because people were so afraid to try new things and do other things. You know what I mean? And it's not entirely their fault because they were in a generation where like doing different creative stuff would get you just slammed. And actually that's why I did my wine rap, because like
I love we have to put that wine rap.
Because everyone said I was this like ridiculous person. They made me into this like cartoon character, and so I did this wine rap video, which was a parody of myself. I'm like in a bathtub with corks, with like a blue bob, I'm with a Ferrari, like I just went over the freaking top.
We're gonna put the link to that so you can see it. It's great. It's actually really great.
And they even came after me for that. Like I just love,
insane.
It's just like I can't do anything right, so I'm just gonna do me,
As you should.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, do you feel? I mean, personally, I would love to know, how do you feel about the diversity in your industry?
Oh, I mean, well, there is a lot. It's just that they haven't been recognized. Like,
that's
people
what
of
I
color
mean,
haven't been recognized as part of the wine industry.
Yeah.
So it's actually really amazing now because we get to highlight, amazing individuals who have been working for so long and just have not gotten the attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like they were just looked over. And it's really easy to create access now, especially, when I get asked to do interviews and be part of programs, I'll literally ask them, like, have any black wine professionals been invited? Flat out.
Yes.
And they are like, oh, no. And they get like freaked out for a second, and then they realize like, I'm not mad. I'm just asking because I want to be part of programs that reflect the world that we live in.
Yes.
And it's super, like, it's been super well received with every publication that I've said that to. 100%.
Yeah.
So like, we're making changes. It just takes a while, and it takes brave people saying Black Lives Matter, like period, because
absolutely.
when the black community has more access in our industry, so does everybody else. Everybody gets brought up. There's nothing, it's just a no-brainer in my opinion.
And you can see why I love her. This time she's y'all. Period. I would love to know, what keeps you motivated?
Wine.
As she says.
Honestly, inspiring leaders, building up a new generation of young people. Like I have a really big LA Somm community. We have 400 Somms on the roster from Santa Barbara to San Diego. So it's like all SoCal. And I've been doing, free or low cost education for the entire pandemic. We're on week 41 this week of just pandemic virtual education, okay?
Yeah.
And it's like, I created this leadership program, and to see them really start feeling comfortable to make decisions and to teach and doing classes and stuff like that, that's inspiring to me, because we need people in our industry that are kind, that are cool, and who just don't have a stick up their ass all the time.
So we're gonna play a cute little game called Would You Rather. First question, would you rather a wine from California or Central America?
California.
Tell me why. Just tell me.
Because, well, I visited more wineries in California first, and it's beautiful, it's diverse, there's so many different styles, and, gotta support my homies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
As a somm, would you rather speak with diners who pretend to know about wines and interrupt your choices, or someone who is open about not knowing wines and listening to your recommendations?
Listen right here, okay? Okay.
Here we go.
I hate when somebody pretends to know, and trust me, I can tell. You want to try and front on me? I know, I can tell, I can see through you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's bullshit. So the best case scenario, if somebody really knows about wine, if they really know about wine and they're at a restaurant ordering with a somm, and there's wines that are $18,000 and stuff, they go, hi, we like this kind of wine. This is what we're eating. This is our budget. We'd like to spend $300 or $200 or $100, whatever it is. And then they will get the best deal brought down from the heavens, because no matter how much you know about wine, the somm at the restaurant knows where the good deals are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know what's priced well, so they're gonna bring you the best thing that they have. So trust them, don't micromanage them, or try to front on them, because they're gonna know, and then you're gonna look stupid.
That part.
I'm sorry.
No, girl, don't be sorry.
I'm just saying.
Don't be sorry. That's great. I mean, it's good to know. You know what I mean? Because you never want to undermine someone that's their job. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't go to other places and tell people how to do their job.
Well, it's not even about telling me how to do my job. It's more of just don't say a bunch of random words that you've heard, because then I'm not going to get you what you want, because you're describing something else. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it.
We moving on. The next one. Would you rather not be able to twerk or not be able to do wine tastings?
Girl, you know I can't twerk already.
Girl, it's
I'm
it's
trying.
coming
I
along.
sent her a little video. She's helping me because I can't.
She's stretching her lower back, y'all, because it's all the it's in the lower back. Would you rather, and this is the last question, would you rather be trapped in a romantic comedy with your haters or trapped in a horror movie with your best friends?
Oh, romantic comedy with my haters! Are you kidding?
She's just so fun!
I love you! It doesn't matter, okay?
Cristie, oh my goodness, thank you so much for being on the show. I want to give you these last couple minutes to kind of just tell the audience any gems, plug anything that you want to plug. The floor is yours, the audience is yours, and just let them know what's up.
Well, for real, if you want to learn about wine, I was studying as a 20-year-old, and I had no idea where to go, what to look for, what kind of resources to have. And so I literally spent a year and everything that I had in my savings to create this online wine course for beginners. And truly, there is nothing else that I have seen ever that takes somebody and gives somebody a launching pad, right? And it's 1/10 of the price of a certification program. And so if you take my course, you will pretty much have everything from a certification program, because it was made with wine educators all over the world, not just me. So, and a DJ made all the music. I'm just saying.
Okay, actually, the music is popping.
Yeah, so I'm making a promo code for you. So, Wine with Mel, 50% off for everybody, so it's $75 to take the course.
Y'all,
if you want.
Hop on this special. If y'all don't hop on the special, I'm about to come to your homes and be like, what is wrong with you?
Don't tell anybody.
Don't
tell anybody. Just for her, because she's my best friend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's cheers on that. You are amazing.
Love you.